Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another Hickory webinar presentation with Booking Builder Intelligent Virtual Agent. My name is Jessica, the Hotel Supplier Marketing Specialist here at Hickory. Once again, welcome those of you who always in our webinar, and welcome to the new folks who attend this webinar. Just before we start, a little housekeeping. Before the webinar is going to present the entire presentation, the attendees will be in only listening mode, so please make sure to keep your volume on and unmuted. You can ask any questions, so feel free to ask any question at any time using your chat session visible to you on your screen. We really want to hear from you, so do not hesitate to ask. Our prize from Booking Builder today is a $50 gift card. I'm excited. I hope you guys are as well. So please make sure to disable your pop-up block to complete the quiz at the end to enter the raffle. To earn your Learn and Earn incentive credit, you need to score 80% or higher on the quiz. Also, we have, as you know, we have the We Give program. So every time you join the webinar, you get to participate in our quiz and you get to get a gift card. Today we have Steve Lackner, the Vice President of Sales with Booking Builder, Seth Perelman, the founder and CEO in our very own team here, Mr. Mark Miller. How you guys doing today? It's so nice to have you all here, and I'm very excited and ready to learn what you guys have to present today. So if you're ready, I am going to turn the table over to you.
All right. Jessica, thank you so much, and thanks everyone for joining. Again, my name is Steve Lackner, and with me today is Seth Perlman, who is our CEO and founder. So just a little bit of background about me. I've been in the industry for about 30 years, starting out in the corporate travel agency or the TMC mode. I did that for about 15 years, worked at an online booking engine, and then for the last 10, worked in the expense and purchasing software space before joining Booking Builder. But as everyone knows, you can never get away from travel. Seth and I have known each other for a long time and have been with Booking Builder for about 7 or 8 months now, just joining back in July. So Seth, I didn't put the number of years in travel for you. I didn't want to say how many years in travel. I'll let you take that over.
Well, I mean, you don't even have it up on the screen either.
I don't? Oh, I gotta share my screen. Oh my goodness.
No, you're sharing the screen. It's just the presentation. There we go.
There we go.
So, you know, Mark Miller and I were just joking about this. My dad started a travel agency when I was 8. So if we want to count back that far, you know, that would put me at about 48 years in this business. You can see the picture of me there. I have a little bit more hair than I do now. So this business definitely, I love it. I can't get away from it, but it takes my hair. Back to you, Steve.
Exactly. Yep. So just a little bit about Booking Builder, if you're unfamiliar about who we are. So we've been in the travel space and providing software solutions to agencies, specifically to travel agents, for the past 20 years. So we're kind of unique in that way in terms of working directly with agents, and we are really a point of sale assistant in 2 different ways, in terms of supplier management and also prompting agents at the right time with the right information. So we're compatible on all the GDSs. We are a global company. We have customers throughout the world. And we really started, you know, the Booking Builder technology started a long time ago with our signature product, which is Booking Builder Desktop. And we'll kind of look at all the features and functionality of desktop and talk to you. But that was really generated off of Southwest back in the day, where Southwest was not part of the GDS. We had an integration with them, allowing information to go back and forth from the GDS to Southwest and then back to the GDS again. So with that, just a little bit about our products, as mentioned, Desktop Butler, and a sneak preview at the end of our autofill Dragon product that's coming soon to be released. I will take you through that. Really, Desktop and Butler are products that integrate multi-sourced content with your agency workflow. Genie unused tickets boost our prompting software that allows you to see information at the right time, whether it's unused tickets, whether it is maximizing airline contracts, whether it is just looking at a particular country and knowing that there's a holiday at the time you're booking for a particular customer. So we'll get to more of that later, but first off, we're going to look at Booking Builder Desktop. So again, integrates that fragmented content into the GDS. And as everyone knows, content is king, but it's also in a lot of different places. If it was just in the GDS, I think we would have a different view on things, but it's not. The airlines are keeping their content outside of the GDS. There's as the build up to NDC keeps coming and it won't stop. There's lots of ways where agents need to look at content across multi-sources, whether it's the GDS, whether it is through specific channels of online booking engines, whether it is through other sources. So what Desktop does is it basically integrates the GDS and it transfers data from the GDS into those websites. So it'll take search criteria and then pre-populate the search fields on behalf of the agents. They don't have to retype that information. It'll pull profile information from the GDS and pre-populate those forms for the travel agents. They don't have to continually go back and forth and look at those forms. It'll do that for them automatically. And then it will take that data, the confirmation of that booking, and write that passive segment back into GDS in the exact format that you expect a passive. So all of the manual typing that an agent has to do in terms of looking at non-GDS content, going to a website and typing in searches and typing in all the profile information and then writing a passive segment back into the GDS, our system does automatically. And as you can imagine, it decreases that time to look at that fare, to take all that information by about 75%. So it really creates a nice, efficient process for the agent. We support over 200 airlines, but we also have rail and some consolidators that we're adding as well. We have consolidators, we're adding more, but we have a number of suppliers that are available through our desktop product. And right now, I'm just going to show you a quick little overview of the Booking Builder desktop. So I'm going to just bring my screen over here. And we're going to go through, we're going to go through this process here. So if you notice, once an agent starts typing a particular city, pair, destination, because our system monitors and listens to what an agent is doing, it knows that there is a fare that's outside the GDS, and it's going to then display our signature desktop prompt, and an agent would be able to then click on that prompt and display that information. So now desktop will show the city pairs, and an agent can easily go in and add a segment. They can look at different classes of service. They can add passengers. They can check different airports or connection cities. So right here, it knows that there's some fares if you notice down at the bottom, there's an option for them to click on the web or an IFQ, which will pull up other fare options. But if they click on web, because they know they need to book a flight on Southwest directly, they would just click there, and now we're taking them to Southwest. The other nice thing is we can sign into a Swabiz account. So we can store all the username and passwords. Agents don't have to write that down. We can sign them in directly. If an agent leaves the agency, they don't have to change the username and password because the agent doesn't know them. We're signing them directly into this Swabiz. So exactly the city pairs that they're looking for, they can go through, select those fares right on the screen, just as they would normally do. But now they have already the search criteria filled out. They can see all the fares and options. They can communicate that to their customers, making sure that the right itinerary and the right fare is selected. And then we're going to know that the screen is now looking at profile information. So because we listen and monitor, we're also going to prompt the agent, would you like to fill this in from a profile? We are going to grab that profile right from the GDS. So if there's any information that's missing here that's in the traveler's profile, the agent can fill it in, such as a CVV number, or let's say a missing frequent flyer number. They can just put that in here. Once they click that, we're going to take that information, and this is in real time. We recorded this. It's going to fill out every aspect of the form. So this is what an agent would see. This is hands-free. All of that information from the profile is being populated, and it's really that simple. It creates not only a time savings, but it creates less prone to errors in taking profile information and then filling them out manually. So once that profile is filled out on the Southwest, swabiz.com website, what'll happen is the agent will click purchase and we'll build a confirmation. So the flight is booked. Our system knows that the flight's booked and will also then ask the agent, would you like this particular itinerary to be written back into the GDS? And if an agent clicks on enter information into the GDS, what we're going to do is we're going to take that information and file finish it in the exact format that you're looking for. Taking that, again, manual process away from the agent and creating that booking in the GDS. So that's it. It's all done. The agent is done with creating that reservation. We took the search criteria, we put it into southwest.com, we signed them in seamlessly. We've taken all of the profile information and completed that form so that now the agent, all they have to do is click on purchase. And once they get to a booking itinerary page and click send this to, create that passive segment, we're creating the segment into the GDS. So that's what desktop does. And if you notice, it applied only the carriers that are specific to that route. So if they were flying to a different route, different carriers would display. So we're not going to display all the carriers that are outside of the GDS. It's only the specific ones that are relevant to the itinerary or the availability search that the agent is doing. Smart in that way so that the agent's not bombarded with information in terms of what they don't need. It's going to be the right information at the right time. So that's desktop. Going through the product demonstration a little, the next stage is we're going to talk about the next product that we have, which is BookingBuilder Genie. So Genie really is a way to prompt travel agents or advisors the right information at the right time. And I think everyone is familiar with this screen right here. This is the agent life. There's lots of post-it notes. There is an infinite number of details and information that you need to remember as a travel agent, because things change all the time. You get a new customer, you need to provide some notes for them. You have a VIP, you have a particular Hickory new airline contract that you need to maximize commissions, you need to put that on a post-it note. You find out that a hotel is having a new lobby renovated and it's going to be done in May. You need to have that information there. Airline lounges are being upgraded for a particular customer that has a preferred frequent flyer membership. You want to be able to tell them, hey, for Chicago, this particular lounge is out of order. So you have all these things that you need to remember, and there's no way agent can remember everything, especially with the way things change. Southwest just changed their baggage. BA just changed their NDC policy. Every day there's things that are changing. So what Genie does, it provides those prompts. So think of those prompts as a post-it note. It's going to provide those prompts at the right time to the agent so that they can see that information when they need that. So there's triggers, and they're not on here, but we can have prompts trigger based on an availability search. Just as you saw with desktop, somebody put in some search criteria, and now desktop, displayed on the bottom right. However, if you just pull up a name display, we can have a prompt that describes that, the preferences of that traveler. There can be prompts just on the time of the day. We have a customer that wants a prompt that displays in the morning and the afternoon, reminding agents of certain things that they would like to have done. It could be a prompt that when an agent is ending a record, hey, there's a checklist of all the things that an agent needs to review before ending the record. So Genie's going to provide that information when that agent needs it, and it could be a whole host of things. So it could have a link on there to say, okay, it knows it's an international flight. It's going to be a link to visa and passport information. It could be a GDS command. It could be a way for an agent to capture a UDID. So if they need to put in a file remark into the GDS, it could have a kind of a screen that just puts in a number, and we're going to write that remark into the PNR. It could be a drop-down list of things. There can be an infinite number of prompts that are created, and just for that kind of statement, we create or our customers fire about 2 million prompts each month, throughout all of our customers. So there could be supplier promotions or VIP traveler alerts. We can have a prompt that says, hey, there's a maximum number of travelers on the same flight, and extremely helpful to have that prompt show up on the availability screen instead of an agent creating an entire reservation for a traveler and then finding out that there's too many of the same employees of a company on that same flight. Now is to cancel that flight, go back to the traveler, offer them another set of options for them. Nope, we can display that message right at the point of sale so that they know that particular flight is not within policy. There could be prompts based on, as I mentioned before, holidays per country. So if you're booking somebody to a different country at a certain date, there's a holiday going on or a sporting event going on or any kind of information that you would like that agent to know before completing that booking, that information is going to be available. As I mentioned before, electronic visas, prompts can be created within our administration site or on a Google form to make it really easy, but then work across multiple GDSs. So you only have to create one prompt and it'll display on Sabre or Amadeus or Travelport. You don't have to create multiple prompts for each one of those GDSs. So the prompts can be by agent specifically. So if you have a group of agents that are working on corporate accounts, you can have prompts that are specific to those particular agents. Conversely, if you have leisure agents, they can be they could have their own prompts that will, provide information for them, whether it's preferred suppliers or unused tickets, things like that. So just to kind of look at some of the prompts that are available, I'm going to bring this across over here. Look at that. So here's an image prompt. So as an agent is typing in a particular search, there's a prompt that displays as an example. So it could have a nice image here. United is our preferred vendor for this particular market. Now, obviously, this is pretty simple in terms of how that looks, but we could also have a VIP prompt. And once somebody is displaying a name, here's a prompt that comes up. I'm a VIP, I guess. But here's all my, hey, this is pretty good. Seth, I get first class travel and a premium hotel. But the nice part about this is that now you're telling an agent, hey, this is a VIP. If they're working on a lot of customers, if it is an after hour service, now that after hour service knows that this is a VIP that they're servicing, and there can be cause to action. Also, if somebody then clicks on this particular prompt right there, we're going to write a remark into the PNR that we acknowledge the VIP message. So things that you're looking for, capturing, whether it's, again, just a simple VIP message, or, hey, I acknowledge that this is a preferred carrier or a Hickory preferred rate. Once they click on it, they're acknowledging that they did take a look at it. And just one example of how interactive prompts can be. And not only that, but the agent didn't have to do anything but click a prompt, and we're going to document the record.
Yep, prompts are not just one way where we're displaying information, but they can be fully interactive. Steve was talking about. They can send commands, they can ask for input, and so on.
Yep. Thanks, Seth. And this is just an example of one of the new features that we've built out that is available. We have an integration with Google Sheets, so you can build out all of the prompts within our administration area. That's pretty easy to do. However, there might be a part of your agency that wants to just be in charge of the VIP travelers. And this is a great way to provide them with a Google Sheet that they can just easily either type or download a list of account numbers with the traveler's name and the information that they would like to display to those agents. So super easy to control a prompt. You can have Google Sheets control prompts based on routes and timeframes, and really make the administration of this very, very user-friendly. The other one that I just wanted to show you was that you did remark that I mentioned before. So if you did 10 is required, and you need to add you did 10 to the record, all you'd have to do is go over and click on that particular prompt, and it's going to ask you to enter a 6-digit travel authorization code. And once you do that, going to document the record with that code. So it was kind of a fill in the blank box, gave you instructions on what to do. This could be a list of things. So somebody could search a list of project codes and the name of the project. So if they didn't know the 6-digit authorization code, you could have lists that, again, the agent would just click on that particular one, and we're going to write that right into the record there and document it. So it's as Seth said, it's interactive, it's call to action. And then finally, what we have also done is we've built out prompts where, if you notice, when somebody pulls up a traveler, there's lots of remarks here, but a lot of information is buried at the bottom. So what an agent would have to do is move to the bottom and see all of the information. They would have to move down, or they could display, the airline remarks or the hotel remarks, and see that information. Again, taking time away from, servicing that customer. What we have done is we're now able to read the entire P&R and display it at that point of sale to the agent. And what we've done is we've kind of created some nice color coding. At the top in yellow is really the most important information. This is a VIP traveler. Double check that the hotel is correct, because in the last trip, a wrong hotel was booked. This is not information that's buried at the bottom. It is front and center to what that agent is looking for. It can show company preferences, and this is just examples, but company preference 1 and company preference 2. Travel information is in blue, so this individual is visually impaired. Vendor and supplier information is in green and icon, so that the individual knows, or the agent knows, hey, this is airline information, book American if possible. No rental car needed, authorized to use Uber. So all this information that we're looking at, which can be customized, and pulling from that P&R, is really vital for an agent to see right when they're typing in that name. And again, once they click this information, we can document the record saying that they acknowledged it, and we can have any information display at that time frame. So that's a look at Genie. I'm going to go through and kind of talk about a couple other products just in the sake of time, but most of them have the same look and feel as what we showed you before. So we do have NDC Butler. What NDC Butler does is it takes the search criteria from your EDIFACT booking, and we can then populate the form in the graphical interface. So we take all that information and really make it easy for the agent to then facilitate an NDC booking. We can look at corporate account information, profile data, and as Mark mentioned to me yesterday, NDC is not going away. More and more carriers are going to support NDC. So for us, we want to make that an easier process for the agent to facilitate that booking, is really why we built that product. Agents still get credit and commissions for those NDC bookings through Hickory. So there's no reason why not to ensure to your clients that the fares that are available can be booked, whether it's in the GDS or outside of GDS, whether it's in the GDS through NDC or outside of the GDS through non-GDS carriers. So we've built some commands in there to help facilitate the NDC process, and really created that that product to help the agents. We've also created an NDC name display as well, because when bookings are made, especially in Sabre, there's a lack of information that you can see regarding that particular reservation, and we've built an integration to display it. Similar to what you just saw with Jeannie, you're going to see all of the flights and reservations available for that particular individual.
Yeah, just to clarify there, in Sabre, when you do display name Smith, for example, if there's an NDC booking, it doesn't show any of the dates or city pairs and so on. And what our name display helper does is, instead of an agent having to type display 1, display 2, and so on, it instantly shows all of the details for each booking.
Perfect. So our next product is Boost. Boost is, again, a product that we built to really maximize supplier relationships. And it is kind of a way for an agency to load airline contracts into Boost and then provide all of that information to the agent. All the Hickory contracts can be loaded in. If you have specific contracts, they can be loaded in as well for either corporate clients or your own agency contracts. And as an agent is typing in an availability, now a prompt is going to display showing all of the different classes of service and commissions available or discounts available if it's a discounted contract. So it's in real time. Not only can Boost display all of that information at the point of sale to the agent, but we can also store the fare. So anything that needs to be written into the P&R to make sure that that commission is contracted and is collected, we're going to store the fare in the exact format that the airline needs that P&R to look at. And then finally, if an agent doesn't choose the preferred contract, what we can do is we can ask the questions, why didn't you choose this particular carrier for that route? And it could be as simple as, well, the class of service that the contract needed to be in was not available. We can write that into the P&R so that now you can go back to the carrier and say, we tried booking this particular class of service. It was not available for X number of times, and renegotiate that contract to get availability for things going forward. So that's what Boost is. It's really maximizing commissions, maximizing your revenue, and looking at reason codes and things that the agent didn't do. And then finally, before we hand things back over to Seth to show you our new product, Ticket Bank is another product that we offer, similar to what you saw with Jeannie and the prompts that display, but now they're going to display a list of unused tickets for that particular traveler. So again, the agent is typing in an availability, looking at flight options. A list of unused tickets will display right in front of them for that particular traveler. We have integrations with Magnatech and Cornerstone and agency technology to take that list of tickets and provide them to the agent right then and there where they need it. And now they can just click on an unused ticket. We're going to add it to the P&R and really facilitate that booking. And with that, I'm going to hand things back, or I'm going to hand things not back, but over to Seth. He can kind of show you what our new autofill dragon looks like.
All right, Seth, you should receive a notification on your computer. Let me know when you're ready. So I could
Yes. What screen are you seeing?
Google.
See, Google.
All right, sorry, figure out how to get this.
I'd be concerned about the 34,094 unread emails, but that's just me.
All right, sorry, I have more than one screen here and I'm not quite sure what we're seeing. So, do you see boutique hotel now?
Yes.
Yep.
Awesome. All right, and my camera's over there, so you get to see the side of my face. Sorry. Anyway, so thank you all for being here. Really appreciate your time. I know it's 38 minutes in, so maybe just before we jump into a new product, everybody just stretch for a second, reset, take a deep breath, and let's take a look over here. So the issue that we started out with, Steve made reference, 20 years ago, we came out with a product that helped book Southwest Airlines. It made booking on Southwest's website just about as fast and easy as making a booking in the GDS. And we all thought that, okay, this is, maybe a short-term issue. Well, 20 years later, what we're finding, of course, is that content is even more fragmented than before. And we're booking more and more online. Sometimes it's an NDC carrier, we have to go to their website. Sometimes we have situations where you book in the GDS, but you have to book the seat on the website. We're booking boutique hotels and Airbnbs and cars and restaurants and you name it. So our Booking Builder desktop product has, as Steve pointed out, saves about 75% in terms of time when you're booking on a website, but it's only handling about 200 different websites. So knowing the future here and the state of fragmentation, we have a brand new product coming out shortly called Autofill Dragon. And the idea with Dragon is that anytime you're booking on a website, so in this case, just take a little jump with your imagination with me here. It says boutique hotel, right? This might be a website, an obscure hotel somewhere that we've never seen before. So we have a browser extension, has our icon. We click our icon, we say how many travelers, we've got one traveler, and our extension has now gone and grabbed this profile information from your GDS or potentially other sources. We'll have a whole bunch of integrations beyond just the GDS. So how does it work? Well, if we've never seen a website before, we can just go ahead and drag and drop each piece of information. You see it highlights on the website where we're dropping this. And this works with just about any website. So whether we've seen it before or not, we also have a whole bunch of built-in logic. So we can click autofill and it's going to fill that in. But I wanted to show you the idea is we drag and drop anything into any website. And the really cool part with all of this is every time an agent drags and drops into a website, that gets recorded on our server, not the information you're dropping, but which information goes where. And that gets sent back out to all the users of Autofill Dragon. And so the next time someone goes to that website, we'll know how to fill it in. So we're crowdsourcing an endless number of websites that we can fill in here. The next step, of course, is what happens after we enter name, address, credit card, and all that, and we make a purchase. So here would be a flight purchase, but this could be anything. We're starting out with flights and hotels. We get asked all the time, can hotels be added to Booking Builder Desktop? Well, they'll be here in Dragon. along with shortly thereafter, cars and restaurants and Airbnbs and whatever else you might imagine. So again, we're going to click our icon. We're going to click Booking Confirm. Just like before, if we've never seen this before, if we don't know how to do anything, let's say we're looking for our departure airport, you click that, we go around, you see it's highlighted, we click our airport, and here it is. So we can capture data off of a web page manually like this in seconds. But we also have this cute little brain icon. And when we go ahead and click that, what we're doing here is we're grabbing this web page and we're sending it out through AI to be interpreted. So instead of having to do it manually, you can see here we filled this in. This is live. And again, we're working on this to be able to support anything that you're booking online. And once we capture it, we don't have to just put it back into a GDS. We are looking at integrations with basically all the different types of tools that agents use. So whether you're corporate, leisure, GDS, non-GDS, we want Dragon to be able to work for you because we know that you're booking online and we know that you got into this business because you love to make bookings, but really, who likes to copy paste data in and out of websites? That's what Dragon's for, and make your job easier. All right, Steve, back to you.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So again, I going to be released pretty soon. As Seth mentioned, the first stage is going to really utilize our functionality within the GDS. So we're going to pull profile information from the GDS, be able to take that booking confirmation and write it into the GDS. Stage 2 would be taking that profile information from any source, whether it's an outside third-party profile system or a homegrown one, and then being able to take that information and kind of send it anywhere to what the agency is looking for. So yeah, with that, there you can't see my screen, but there's a big thank you, for for attending. Jessica, I know that there's some things afterwards that
Yes. Can they?
but
Do you get the notification now? Can they see your screen? Or is it you? Are we good?
Well, we can just say a big thank you, and then we
Okay.
can go into
Okay.
our questions and answers, which are the questions that I have, and Seth and Steve can answer them. But again, I appreciate you both taking the time to participate. We do have a handful of questions that came in during registration, and a bunch of questions came in during the presentation. So the first question I'm going to ask is, where are you guys with Travelport Plus? Because I know the last time I had a conversation, you had not. Oh, there it is. I don't think there had been a decision on what your plans were for Travelport Plus. So, are you working with them, or how are you doing with that?
That's a great question. So BookingBuilder Desktop, Genie, Boost, Ticket Bank, all are operational with Travelport Plus today. NDC Butler is a little bit down the road still on Travelport Plus. And when Autofill Dragon comes out, that is going to work across Travelport Plus, Amadeus, and Sabre right from the get-go, right out of the box.
Okay, great. In fact, Hickory had our advisory board yesterday, and we learned that one of the agencies that has been a WorldSpan subscriber for many, many, many years, I think from the beginning of when the GDSs came out, they're, instead of going to Travelport Plus, they're converting to Sabre, and we have another Hickory member that's doing the same thing. So, they all are not following down to Travelport Plus. We've seen a handful that are converting to either Amadeus or Sabre. So be that, be that as it may. So one of the biggest problems everybody's had since NDC has come into play, and more specifically, what happened last year with American and the GDSs, servicing the NDC transaction. Once the old Seinfeld, you're good at taking the reservation, you may not be good at keeping the reservation. How about managing the reservation or managing the ticket once it's issued? How does Butler help them do that if servicing that part of it, is capable?
At this point, I know it's kind of going to sound like a cop-out, and I apologize, but Butler is there to get you to the starting line and help you get those forms filled out. The idea with Butler is you've already typed in availability in the GDS cryptically, really quick, easy. Why do you now have to go and use your mouse and click and do the same exact thing all over again? So Butler's doing that for you. In terms of servicing it, once that booking is made, we're leaving that up to the GDS at this point. We are extremely open to ideas and suggestions. So if you do have ways that we can help you with that servicing, we're all ears. We would love to get that implemented.
Okay. So you touched upon Boost. In the airline contracts these days, especially the ones that Hickory have, which most of them are fairly straightforward. Some of them are not. So the complexity, somebody came through and asked that, the question about what information, if we sign up for Boost, what information do you need from us, meaning the agency? So what information are you looking for to help that agent utilizing the Boost product?
Sure. Boost is complex, and that's a reflection, of course, of airline deals. I know, Mark, you said, for the most part, they're straightforward. So we're going to need your contracts, right? They have to be entered into Boost, at least the ones that you want in there. But then where it starts to get complex is, what the priority is, what this ordering is. So if you have two different airline contracts that might cover the same city pair, which airline do you want to see? And with Boost, you can structure it so that you pick your primary airline, you keep an eye on the needle, so to speak, and once you've hit your goals for that airline, you can switch to a secondary airline. And because we're prompting the agent, we're guiding them on what to do, we're very, very effective at changing agent behavior and getting them to book what's needed. So you can actually hit goals on more than one airline this way. So this is all part of the setup process. The other part with Boost, as Steve talked about, is the type of information that you'd like to collect. So very often a preferred is offered to the traveler, but they don't accept it. And right now, all of that's anecdotal. Well, we think mostly it's because whatever. Well, Boost can actually ask that question. We prompted you to book Delta, you booked American, why? Was it because of status? Was it because of schedule? So on and so forth. And we can actually collect hard data. So that's part of the setup process, as well as is looking at the types of information that you'd like to collect, because we don't want to interfere with the agent. We don't want to add work. We want to make all this as easy as possible, but it's also really crucial to be able to collect that type of information.
Okay, so now I'm going to put a little spin on it. The boost on the spin side of it here is that Hickory has provided BookingBuilder access to all of the Hickory agreements. So the legwork that you may need to do if you participate on the Hickory program is already done. They have access to all of our contracts. So if the Boost product interests you, but you don't want to do all the work as it relates to getting all the information together, I've already the Hickory team has already done that with Steve and Seth and everybody else, so they have access to it. Now, the most difficult contract that we have is our American Airlines contract. So, and that seems to be the majority of the questions that we get asked. So at some point in time, I think it would be great to do a test case of a difficult itinerary, because our American program is based upon the first letter of the fare basis code, not the booking bucket. So, if you can test it, if you can see it and people, see it, then there might be some opportunity, but that's just me promoting the Boost product. The other thing about the Boost product, I know you didn't do the demo of it. Is that on like a Vimeo type screen or Vimeo type file that maybe we want to share with the participants today? If you can get that over to us, I think that might be a good idea. Any other comments about Boost, either Steve or Seth?
I think we're good to move on.
Yeah.
I think I've made them speechless. Okay.
You have
Going
a way
back
with
to-
words, Mark.
Well, listen, if I can push the product and to the benefit of our, the members that are on this call, then, let's see if we can do that, which was the whole idea behind it, giving BookingBuilder access to the agreements.
Yeah.
So I want to go back. Yep.
Yeah, not specifically with Boost, but just something that you mentioned earlier kind of sparked my thought process is, you have a couple agencies that that are converting from one GDS to another. What we can do to really help ease that transition from agents that are used to the different commands and information in one GDS compared to another is provide prompts at the right time. So if they're curious about a particular command that needs to now be entered into Sabre, but they're not familiar with it, we could prompt them and actually have the command, and they can click on it and add it to the record. So we've done that before with other agencies in terms of moving from one GDS over to another, and really helped train their agents or any new agents that are coming on board to kind of give them a kind of a point of sale tutorial, so to speak.
Okay, I'll I guess we will loop back to those two agencies that I know of, and see if there's an interest level as well. Okay, so going back to Butler, last week, British Airways announced, they're now available in Sabre. Singapore Airlines, a few months back, the same thing. Hawaiian's becoming more prominent in the NDC content. So the question that I got was, how exactly is, Butler going to help me, and this being the agent, capture the best fares for their clients, especially since everybody goes and double checks the airline website, right? We know the airline website's got the best, fares they may be offering NDC. So, from the practical aspect there, what has to happen, as the question said, what has to happen so the agent always checks for NDC?
So again, really good question. And the approach there can be multi-layered. So we can start with Genie, for example, and we can build a prompt. British Airways now has NDC fares in Sabre or, in your GDS. Please make sure you double check, right? Because not everybody's going to remember by the time they've left the Monday morning meeting where we've been telling everybody what they need to know. They're not going to remember everything. And that's the beauty of Genie, is it's not going to just randomly tell them, but it's going to look intelligently and see they've done either based on a city pair or the actual availability response contains British Airways, we can give them that information. And then Butler itself, again, depending on your GDS, Butler will, once you've already looked in the GDS, done an availability or booked something, we can take all of that and do an NDC search based on that without you having to type all the search information again. Saves a lot of time. And again, depending on your GDS, we can actually go and very quickly cross-check the price of NDC without you even having to go into graphical mode at all. I apologize that we were not able to show all of these pieces today, just in terms of the amount of time we had to pick and choose what we wanted to show. But you know, we would certainly love to do one-on-one or other group demos to show you all of this in much more detail and much better than I can try to explain it.
Yeah, and
I'm
what
not as
Seth
good
is
with words as Mark.
and what Seth is describing to everybody is a feature that we call an IFQ, or an instant fare quote. So that does display, during our NDC Butler. If an agent clicks on that Butler, they can see all of the NDC fares and rates across the carriers that they're looking for. So without having to go to graphical, without having to do that additional search, they can see all of those fares that are available as well.
I remember seeing that when NDC became a big issue last year, and the addition of that fare quote comparison I thought was a very nice feature. Okay, I've got one more question. So unless anybody has a last minute question to put in the question box, please do it now. So when you talked about desktop, one of the features you put on desktop was, it supports 200 airlines. What is that, as the question came in to me, what does that really mean? Does that mean it's, you go to the website? What does supporting 200 airlines mean?
So when you do an availability in the GDS, we cross-reference that against all of the airlines that are in desktop. So when Steve showed Southwest, for example, in the GDS, we did an availability, let's say from DFW to LAX. Well, we're going to look and we're going to see that Southwest flies from DAL, which is a corresponding airport, and we're going to show that. So the idea is we're going to show relevant airlines when an agent is doing their work. We're not going to recommend, here, go check British Airways or Ryanair because you're going from Dallas to Los Angeles. Then when you want to go and book on that website or check on that website, we support opening the website, logging it in, filling out your whole request. So you're not having to type Dallas, Los Angeles, all that sort of thing again. We do all of that for you. We fill in the profile data and we capture the completed bookings. So that's what we mean by support. Autofill Dragon, right from the get-go when it's released, we'll be able to do profiles and confirmations on all of those and many, many more websites. The part about launching and filling in will come with time with Dragon as well. But, with BB Desktop, these are the airlines that our customers have, basically told us are the most important. So we have this full level of support in there. I hope that answers the question.
Yes, it did. So, okay, so no other questions came in. So Jessica, you want to come back on? Steve and Seth, thank you very much. I appreciate the time you've spent with us this afternoon. And Jessica, I'll let you close out with your closing remarks.
Thank you.
I'll just say thank you to everybody.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you all for your patience today. And thank you, gentlemen, for your time. This information has been amazing. This webinar is being recorded, so remember it will be accessible on Partner HQ. So if you have any question, also check out our Friday weekly news. It will also be on there if you want to go back and revisit. And if you have any additional question, you could always get Steve email. Please write it down. It's still up, I believe. Yes, it is still up. So if you have any other question. Please always remember to add Hickory rate access code HFH and ECR in your hotel availability. Please make sure to keep following us on social media. We always have new things coming up, so please make sure to look at your inbox every now and then because we always have new deals happening, new exclusive happening. So it's always good to see you all on here, and I look forward to seeing you guys on the next one. Have a wonderful day. Bye, everyone.
Take care,
Thank you.
everybody. Thank you so much.
Bye.